welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. And we are awesome. 2 weeks in to 2022. And not much has changed at all. What's up, Meelz?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. COVID, all the other stuff, finally got me, hit me down with a steel chair. It is what it is. I mean, yes, I'm fully saying this. I try to keep it under wraps for very, very long. But nonetheless, I think since probably like last week, Wednesday.
Yeah,
I've had COVID.
When you get that call and it's like, I got COVID, your heart sinks, right? It's like,
well, no. All right. So here's the
at least for your friends, at least for me.
Oh no. So I've had multiple, not like multiple, I won't say multiple like things, but I mean, it's the Omicron variant is spreading so wildly at this point. Like sometimes when you're in contact with somebody and they're like, "Yo, I had this," and I was like, "Oh fuck, man!" Like, it's one of those situations. Like that actually happened recently. Like, I'll save it for the Patreon, but that actually happened recently before this, and then everyone tested negative, and it was fine. I don't know how I got it, to be honest with you. I think it was because I have to go to work so much, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah.
But not sure. Definitely have had it since like at least last week Wednesday. So as soon as everything was going up, it was going down for me. But I've been asymptomatic, so I haven't really felt anything. No sickness, no sneezing, no coughing, all my taste is still there, everything. I'm just been isolating for the last week or so. So, and then those new CDC measures, yeah, I'm not going with that. Listen, you will not see me out until I don't like the idea that after your 5th day, then it's like, all right, if you have no symptoms, just go back outside, go back out into the world. I don't really like that. That seems dangerous. That seems like a dangerous precedent to set for a very viral virus.
Contagious. They're saying now, and sorry if we're getting into the weeds with this, but they're saying like you could be contagious before you even test positive. They said that.
No, that's even the worst part, right? So like now they have this thing where it's like, okay, because they want everyone to go back to work. It's like if you're in contact with someone but you don't have symptoms yet, you have to wait 5 days until you get tested. But then it's like, but those 5 days, usually those 2-3 days beforehand, are the most viral parts of this entire thing. Like you're going to spread it if you just are willy-nilly and stuff like that. So I don't know, this new CDC shit, I'm not really feeling it, but I'm gonna do what's best for me. I'm gonna do what's best for my family. I'm gonna do what's best for that, and that's kind of how I'm gonna roll about this. So until the time being, I'm watching. What I've been doing is, my schedule has been crazy. My day is like treated like, you ever see those TikTok memes where it's like those, not TikTok memes, but I guess that TikTok trend of like people getting up and going about random things on their day and recording them in like 1-second intervals.
Yeah.
All right. So that's kind of been my day. Like, I don't know. I wake up, I stretch.
Meelz, you sound like you're like really having cabin fever right now. You have never talked this much in this fast.
Oh no, because like, I haven't really talked to anybody, to be honest with you. The only person I've talked to besides this is for the lookout for Jeff, and I didn't even know how that was gonna go. So I definitely, I don't know, stretch, wake up, watch Everybody Hates Chris, watch the news, scroll through my emails, see what's going on in wrestling, maybe watch an old wrestling show, watch some anime, find something what I'm going to do later, and just sit down the entire day. And for some reason, I've made a routine out of it for the entire day. So I'm going to be pretty pissed when I have to go back to work and ruin all this shit. But what I say is, everyone be safe. Everyone wear masks. Double mask up if you're in a place where it's like, too many people, like the New York subway or something along those lines. Just protect yourself. I feel bad for the people who are not asymptomatic because they're going through it now. But then I'm also like, I don't know if I'm getting better or not. I I have no gauge on what if this is becoming better or not. I just have to sit here and I'm like, okay, well, thug it out for the next 4 days. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's my little spiel. That's my spiel.
Right. You've been waiting for this.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I want to welcome a lot of new patrons to
Ooh.
the show, and I want to do it right now. But because we got so many right at the new year, and we haven't got a chance to really,
Last week's episode was a highly anticipated episode, though. Like, people were waiting for us. I feel very happy. Like, shout out to you guys for just being like, yo, this was what we were waiting for so long. Because just as long as you were waiting for it, I was waiting on getting that shit out. Like, I couldn't wait.
And thanks to everyone who joined just to be able to hear that. Thank you so much. Obviously, you're going to get these shows early if you pay for the $5 tier, $10 tier. We'll get you a lot more than that too. I don't have it up yet.
Listen, if you a patron, just know it's Rumble season, so we're doing our Royal Rumble pool, and we're gonna do the normal pool. But we're not gonna give the details right now. But we definitely listen. There's going to be a pool.
There's going to be a Patreon tier to the Royal Rumble pool this year. So
yes. So if you're a patron,
if you want to be a part of that and you want to see us eat do the one chip challenge at 100 patrons.
Yo, that might knock Omicron out my entire system if we get that, man.
But I want to shout out some people before we start just proper from January 1st all the way on. Anthony Cullen, James Carter Jr., Nick's Kicks, Brian Wilson, Rich, Quintarius Banks, what's up? And Marcus Johnson, Asai Hernandez, Thomas, Formatic, CC, of course, what's going on, CC, Asia, Petty Tree, what's going on? And one more. We got a new Hall of Fame. We got a new Hall of Fame patron, and they're actually on the show right now. It's so funny. We had him booked already, and he went ahead and said, "Oh, the only way I can be on the show is if I do this." So he went ahead and got the Hall of Fame tier. He's the top tier of the patrons right now. We got an interview coming right after our break, after our Patreon break. Cornell Gunter, former NXT producer, video producer, social producer, will be on the show talking about his experience at NXT. So that's our surprise for today.
Listen, if you guys wanted to know what went down when Vince walked into the PC on that fateful day that changed everything, you're going to learn about it in this episode. I'm going to tell you that right now. So make sure you guys stay tuned because it is a great interview. It's a really great interview, like creatively how things, work at NXT. So stay tuned, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else going on in your life? Nothing much in my life. It's wedding time.
What's going on in your life? Yeah, what's going on in your life? Come on, man.
It's wedding time, bro. It's in overdrive. So that's pretty much my stress. I get out of the hospital last week, and I go right back into more things that pain me. Except this time it's not my abdomen, it's my wallet. So, that's where we're at right now. It's time. It's at the point of planning where you got to start paying for shit, and I'm not happy.
Listen, man. Just sell a couple sneakers. I think you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, now. Hey. Come on, man.
Are you wearing sneakers to your wedding? Let me ask you that.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that a lot of your other friends will probably also be wearing sneakers to your wedding?
Yeah, I encourage it. I think I want my wedding to be everyone who is, to express themselves the way that they would, but only through sneakers. So just keep wear your heat. Like if you're coming, wear your heat.
What are you doing? All
wear your heat.
Listen,
it's some planned things, and it's gonna look great. Like I honestly, Meelz, I can't wait for you to see it. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for everybody to see it. So, we're planning all that right now. So that's my life.
All right, you can't wait to see the creative direction.
I'm also really into Gunpla right now. And if you don't know what that is, The Gunpla is Gundam plastic model kits. I'm into
Oh,
that.
yeah. I didn't know they had like an abbreviated term for that.
Yes. So Meelz, it's actually your fault because you bought me my first. You helped me get my first Gunpla, and I put it together. And I have like a really like my fiance says I have a really addictive personality. Like I'll
Yes.
just get caught up in. You know this too.
Yeah. No. Do you think I don't? What? 4 years? 5 years? How long have we been doing this podcast?
So like I'm like back into Gundam now. Like I was into Gundam obviously like back when I was like 13. You know what I mean? But now I'm back into this heavy. I got one kit on the way. I just got a kit yesterday. I'm putting one kit together. I got like a little
Whoa,
a
whoa,
cut
whoa. It
mat.
sounded like you said you got a kid on the way. Hold on. Wait a minute now.
Yeah, well they are my kids right now
Okay.
because
Okay.
but I have so much stuff on the way. So like if you're into model kits and stuff like that, holla at me, man. Let's start a little Discord or something. Let's start like a team, a squad of people that love doing model kits because I'm super into it now. I'm not gonna be like painting this shit. I'm not good at that, but I'm really good at like
We'll get you there.
they making sure the nubs are cool and stuff like that. So like that's what I do to kind of calm down. If wrestling Twitter's pissing me off, I'm just gonna go build. I'm gonna go build. I
Yo,
can't wait to show you. I bought the holders where you can like the action bases where you can like put them in poses. So when I do that, I'm gonna do a photo shoot.
Wordle, my God.
Oh yeah, Wordle.
Wordle, man. Listen, so there's this daily puzzle every day, Wordle. 5 letters, just guess them and stuff like that. That's been the best part of my mornings. It's like,
But the thing is, you gotta wait to the next day. That's the worst part.
that's so whack. I'm ready to do like 10 of, I'm ready to knock out like 10 of them at once. A couple days. I mean, I think probably before 2 days ago, 2 of them like whooped my ass. I was like, yo, I can't believe it. I
Which
feel like I
ones
had a
was it?
brain for. Um, Let me look this shit up. They don't even have like past ones. Which one was it? It was like a couple ones. I think one was like something with a C. It started with a C, like crack or crank or something.
Oh, Crank. It was Crank.
Fuck that up. Why did I put Frank the last one after I
A
had
name?
already put C? Yes. I was like,
Bugged
yo,
out.
gotta be Frank. Nah, I was bugging out. I was like, yo. Last 2 I've gotten, so I've been pretty happy with that. But yeah, that gives
Yeah,
me the little bit of that's my
my
rest for the
streak is
day.
my streak is at 8. So,
Nah, I fucked up at least 2 of them. I really got a new streak.
but so if you play Wordle, let us know your streak. How long is your streak going? It's taking over the web. Pretty soon, Wordle's gonna be like the new Animal Crossing. Everyone's doing it. So, uh, I mean, it's here. It's definitely like one of those games that was like, remember Words with Friends?
Yes.
That craze. It's gonna take over like that. I want to play Words with Friends again. I used to
Can we do
bust.
that?
I used to bust ass on Words with Friends.
Let's play Words with Friends, bro. Let's do that, man. Can
Yeah,
we
let's play
air
Words with
this
Friends.
somewhere?
I think we could. I think that we could. What if
Let's
we played a
let's
live
post.
game?
Can we do that? I don't know. Could we do that? If not, we post screenshots on Twitter. How about that?
Yeah, let's play a live game of Words. Okay, so what I'm gonna do? We're gonna go to Patreon when we come back. We're gonna talk to Cornell. So BRB. What we're gonna get into now. We're gonna get into an interview with Cornell Gunter. He is such a great person. So we're gonna take you to that interview right now, and we'll be right back after it's over. All right. We said we had a big guest out of nowhere. We start off 2022 with the hotness, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is his first interview. Obviously since he moved on from NXT. He's a close friend of mine, super close friend of mine. And Meelz as well, but someone near and dear to my heart, but someone who's always showed me love, always been such a great guy, always been such a really like a good person to talk to just in general, and has welcomed me into his family, so to speak. Cornell Gunter, man, what's going on, brother?
Hey man, I'm just chilling. Life is good, Thank you guys so much for having me. I just want to say y'all been on an incredible run. I just want to say that some people don't like to get flowers until it's late, but I want to give y'all flowers now. Y'all been great. From the Drew to the Big E to the Mello to the Bianca, man, y'all been doing it. So hats off to y'all, and it's an honor to be here.
And you one of them, baby. That's really what it is, man. Come on, man. Stop playing. Your family. We appreciate that entirely, though. But yeah, you're absolutely family to the show and everything that we running. You're definitely A Show family, RNC family, all this other stuff like that, man. But we bring you on in the midst of, considering. Well, actually, let's talk about this first of all. So you moved on from working at the PC, working at NXT, and that entire process. It's been, how long has it been since you've kind of been gone, actually?
Truthfully, it's been 115 days technically because I had a 90-day period. But outside of my 90-day period, it's been 168 days.
Oh wow! Okay, to the T, to the number as well.
Yeah,
Wait, first,
yeah.
I was surprised when I heard that you had a 90-day contract, and maybe that's just my own ignorance in terms of how contracts actually work in this thing, especially considering like you see like other wrestlers coming up. I got 30 days. I got 60 days.
It was interesting because prior to all the whole departure stuff happened, we were talking about certain things about me potentially moving out of and transitioning out of NXT after everything that happened with my son. So the 90-day thing kind of surprised me. I got a call from HR and they were just like, hey, stuff is happening and we're sorry. I'm like, hey, it's all good. Thank you guys so much for the run. Like I had a hell of a time. And it was like, and they was like, for the next 90 days, we're gonna, agree to blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, all right, bet. Because some people, for me personally, man, I'm forever grateful for WWE. For the past 2 years specifically, definitely during the pandemic time, they still gave me an opportunity to provide for my family. And also go to work and work with people that I love to work with and be around people that I love to be around and fulfill a dream that I want to do since I was 5 and 4 and 6 years old. So the fact that they gave me that opportunity to do it, but also they gave me, for 90 days, they still took care of me. I'm forever grateful. So I was just as surprised and I'm just as thankful. So thank you.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, this has been an entire whirlwind experience. You've since moved on. You're I've seen you bought a lot of equipment. Are you streaming soon? Like, what are we doing? What's the jazz here? What are we doing?
So right now, I got a lot of different things going on. First is first, as always, I'm dad. Always, I get to be at home with my kids, and I get to get terrorized and beat up by them. I just got married. In November on the 18th. The funniest thing is that.
Hold on. Let's do that right.
The craziest thing is that me and my wife we get married and then some stuff happens when we bring our marriage license back. So the funniest thing is that Florida wouldn't accept our marriage license type of stuff. So I just got remarried again today technically, but but I'm not even gonna get into it. But man, no, I've been able to clear my mind and clear just a lot of things I need to clear, and I was able to invest into streaming. So I was on Twitch here and there. But I've been doing some talking with 2K about a potential, community manager job there, doing stuff over there, and a couple other places. So right now I'm kind of still open to like, hey, if you want me, come get me. But I am definitely having talks. So it's one of them things where it's interesting. I started streaming, and it was fun, and then I realized I'm a dad with kids, and it's like, oh man, I'm tired. So it's I definitely have the utmost respect for any Twitch streamer, YouTube people that do it, because man, it's a grind, and I have so much fun doing it because there are times where I'll be in there by myself and I'm going to keep myself company, and there are times where people are in there, but I just have fun because I get to just let loose and just play wrestling video games or whatever video games and just have a ball.
Oh my God. The infamous 2K19 games is all I remember from you guys and your streaming and all this other shit like that. And who beat who and what time they beat who and how many times they did it and stuff like that. Like, that's all I remember. I mean,
so here's the thing, J5, myself, and Mark, and a lot of other people, Larry, we like to have fun and we like to play. And I mean, granted, the person who wins the most is the person that's talking right now. But
I think it goes you, Mark, me, Cyrus, Larry.
The funniest part though is that so like J5 and them, it's like we have our own fake wrestling type of thing mentally, right? My friends, no, because like my friends Larry and them, they're so mad. So the last time we all played, I quote unquote turned on the group and I joined J5 and all them, and like no, dude, like they weren't talking to me for a little bit, and they were like posting like mad gifs and like they was like I don't want to play this goddamn game no more. I was like, bro, it's just a game, guy. But I guess it was like. I don't know. I guess like
I will never forget. I'll never forget when I came into the voice chat and I said, well, and everybody started leaving.
I was like, no. So my friends kind of disowned me for a little bit, but we cool now. But no, we had some good times. And when 2K22 comes back out, when it comes out, sorry, we're gonna have some more good times. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that like. We can play amongst each other, and it's like it's a lot of different things for a lot of people who stream the game or they're content creators and all that. We're just guys who play the game and know how to play the game and love the hell out of the game. So it's just fun to be able to find people like that who aren't trying to play a game to sell it, if you know what I mean. Which is no knock to them. Get your bag.
It reminds me of when I used to play with my homeboys back home. Like we all be like cramped into one house, one room playing the game. That's why we love playing. We love playing with Cornell and his crew, and then we got RNC crew over. Well, we all RNC,
of course, absolutely, always blood in, blood out.
Exactly. So that's where that comes from. So when 22 comes out, best believe we're gonna be streaming, and it's gonna be some hurt feelings on that shit.
I think the number one thing for me, man, I'm just so excited to play updated wrestling game, updated roster. Like 20 was great, but certain things my own liking I didn't like about it, so I didn't really play it as much. But I have full-fledged confidence that 22 would definitely be an enormous step in the right direction. So I'm very excited to play it, and I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. So getting back to NXT, there's a huge change coming in NXT, right? And we're gonna get to that in a second, but a lot of people said a lot of things about the state of where the brand was last summer and how people were leaving and stuff like that. Like, what did you feel like the temperature was like there when people started kind of saying, you know what, I'm not going to come back, like Adam Cole not coming back and stuff like that? Were you shocked, or was it like, something that was like kind of telegraphed?
So I think so. Shocked, not fully shocked. Kind of like I won't say surprised, but kind of just like okay, like Adam leaving and going to AEW. Like I wasn't fully shocked just because of the certain things that I know that he loves to do. We all know Adam Cole loves to stream. It's like, and he's openly publicly said it. So it's just kind of one of those things where certain guys aren't able to get their, their own itch or their own certain, like their own way in certain ways, which is not bad. Like if somebody wants to stream and that's what they want to do and they want to be able to live their life that way, then they're fully entitled to it. But I was kind of this like Kyle O'Reilly. I was like, oh dang, okay. Johnny Gargano. Like I think that was the one that shocked me. Now, I'm not saying Johnny's going to AEW or whatever, because I have no idea what Johnny's doing. But I think the temperature last summer, was definitely like these guys are lifers. Like I wasn't expecting to see them like leaving NXT ever type stuff. And then we we go into this meeting. And I realized NXT was going to change at that point in time. Yeah. And the meeting the infamous Vince meeting that, people talked about here and there, like I was actually in that meeting, sitting in that meeting. And I remember like we all got there early as heck. And, and Vince comes and he's with Triple H, Nick Khan, Bruce, the whole team, and then
the Horsemen, Jesus Christ,
the whole routine. And it was like we set up in the gym. We had cameras all set up because he was taping his speech and all that stuff, and Vince was talking, and he talked about a lot of great things that for me, as just a person, it makes sense. Right, like he talked about certain things, how he wanted certain things to be, like for producers, and he wanted to challenge producers and coaches to think of matches differently. He wanted to challenge NXT to be different. He wanted to change the structure of NXT, and he said it then. And this was like I forgot however long ago. He said he wanted to change the look, the feel of NXT. He wanted to feel like NCAA type stuff, and I was like, I understand that, and it's just one of those things where now looking at it, if his vision was 2.0. then man, there's a reason why he is who he is, because 2.0 has been the breath of fresh air for the wrestling industry, period, especially for WWE. Like they made stars out of Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and Trick, and all these guys and girls, of course, are superstars. And it's like, man, it's like it happened just like a snap of a finger. So what Vince saw was truthfully the then, now, and forever. And now he realized, okay, we got these stars, but it's time to start thinking about the future. And everything that he said in that meeting came to fruition. And we all left that meeting like being like, wow, okay, a change is coming. Now, granted, it was like, oh,
Hold on, let's talk about this. You mentioned a meeting. There was a meeting. There was a report that came out last summer that Vince had come down to the PC,
oh
and
yeah,
everyone makes jokes about this meeting. I know you were actually there,
yes,
and you know what happened, and you said
Mhm.
you told me that absolutely happened. Some usually when shit comes out on NXT through dirt sheets, Cornell is the first one that would be like, that's cat. He'd be like, that's not happening, bro. Like, nah.
It just one of those things where even back in NXT where it was definitely like I kind of felt for the people in charge down there because at one point everything just started coming out and I'm just like, all right, and some of it could have been true and a lot of it was definitely false, but I was like, man, at what point in time does stuff say in house, so when the whole Vince meeting happened, yes, he did come down to the PC and he did talk to us about a good maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. He did go over to the other PC and do a tour and look at all the talent in there, and they were doing certain things over there. And that did happen. Kevin Dunn came down as well. Like I said, Bruce was there, so it did happen. And at that point in time, it wasn't like people were like scared. People were excited, because at that time, a lot of the new talent, like Mello and all them, were like fresh in about out a couple months. So this is the first time they probably was crossing paths with Vince in a way. So
Right.
it was like the energy in the building was cool. Like it wasn't like, oh my god, oh my god, our parents are home, go to sleep. Like oh my god, I'm scared. It was exciting because the energy that Vince was bringing wasn't like, oh, I'm here to fire people. It's like, I'm just here to see what's up, like
Right.
like, what's good, like what's happening down here.
So what exactly did he say, like when everyone sat down in the meeting? Was it sort of just like, I'm seeing what's going on and I want to make some wholesale changes? Because like the meme is, oh, when he came down, him and Nick Khan came down and they told Triple H to get on his knees, and you know what I'm saying?
Man,
It's
nah.
on. All right, get it. All right, everybody,
Man,
get
nah.
up.
When Vince came down, dude, he sat down. He basically told people his history of wrestling and why he loved it and what made him get into it, and then
Mhm.
that segue into WWE as it is today and the stuff that he wants to see in the future. And it was something that he said that him and Hunter talked about it for X amount of time. So it was definitely something like that. I don't think everybody's now making these little jokes about Hunter. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that man is one of the most genuine and brightest and just I don't know how many adjectives I can describe somebody in such a positive light.
Mhm.
Uh, that man is the I don't want to curse on your podcast, but he's the effing man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So like that meeting was never in any type of disrespect to what Hunter has done, what Triple H has done at all. It was definitely something where it seemed like a unified decision when everybody's on the same page and everybody was understanding and everybody was going towards the same goal. Because I just remember I wish you know what, J5, I promise you, but when this is over, by the time this goes out, I'm going to send you pictures of what I wrote down in my notebook.
Right.
Because again, that meeting was something where he was challenging even people like myself who was producing and shooting content to shoot stuff differently and think outside the box and not try to do original, go back to basics on certain things like wrestling. Like for instance, like something he did highlight was like, how many times I receive people fighting outside the ring and then somebody gets help thrown inside, like, oh here, grab me, yeah, roll me inside the ring. No, he said he don't want to see that. Or you see somebody lining up for they're laying on a mat, somebody's on a turnbuckle and they're sliding over to get to their spot to
Oh yeah.
but so that was the kind of stuff that he said he doesn't want to see anymore.
Right.
Which I'm like, I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, as a casual wrestling fan, I'm not gonna say casual, but as a wrestling fan, right? And the stuff that we talk about is like the small little things like that because now we're adults, we're not kids no more. So now
Right.
we're adults, we see certain things. So I didn't see nothing wrong with that. I thought that was like, yeah. When he was talking about when people getting dragged around the ring, he was like, why would I want to? He was like, if you're in a fight, I'm not gonna let you drag me around. I'm gonna push you off of me. It's like exactly. So but it's a simple thing that some people just because of a lot of these people that make these stuff up about him, I say like the internet people who never probably met him or anything like that, it's like, man, y'all just gotta chill out, man, because it's just one of the things where people create their own narrative about people and then they spin it and then they stick with it like it's gold, and it's like, nah, man, it's not like that. I met that man 3 times, and every single time it was cool.
Yeah.
It,
So
it, it was never no disrespect. It was never like, oh, I'm the boss. It was like, hey, how you doing? Like it was all, and even dating back to the stuff happened, last April, when I was going for X amount of time due to the tragedy, it was like Seth McMahon called me with Vince and Hunter in the back or whatever, and we talked, and they were like, that's the thing, like a lot of people. they have they have their own narrative, they have their own vision about somebody because what happened with somebody else, which is unfortunate because it happened to somebody else. But man, people aren't always bad people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think just to, after that meeting happens, literally after this meeting happens, we start to see wholesale changes within WWE with people being released. I think that like the biggest thing, like they completely, so to speak, gutted NXT out to make this happen. And a lot of people were upset about that. A lot of people were included in that. Like like after that meeting, what was kind of like the vibe like after all these releases? And I know, like, if you want to talk about your release, I don't know if you're comfortable about doing that yet.
Yeah. I mean, so outside of myself, I think I'll be honest. Like, yeah, the mood in there after the first batch of releases that happened when the first wave when Josiah was a part of all that stuff when COVID first hit. Everybody was definitely, of course, you're kind of like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's, you hear people snickering about this and that, and you're like, all right, cool. And then, of course, there was a level of uncertainty. I'm not going to sit up and act like there wasn't. Like, I was definitely checking my email, making sure I was still able to sign in. That's a little joke that me and Josiah always had. But it was definitely like the level of uncertainty. But I think for me, like, coming from where I came from and the company that I was at, I definitely matured a lot to understand that when stuff happens, it's not personal. Like, they're not attacking you. It's just business, bro. And I realized that's my own take, clearly. So after a while, of course, when they started happening like more and more, I remember we were sitting there inside the PC, and then like when Samoa Joe and Alistair and all that, I looked at Josiah and I was like, wait, excuse me? Like, holy crap, because as a wrestling fan, it's like, holy, so of course it's uneasy. That's anywhere. If your job is doing layoff after layoff after layoff or stuff like stuff happens, of course you're gonna be like, holy crap, what the hell is going on? But I just think for me with my own situation, like, so I'll be honest, like at the point in time where I got let go, I think it was truthfully the right decision for them to do. Like budget cuts or whatever, however it was, whatever. I think it was the right thing to do. And the reason being is just the fact that in the state that I was at, I wasn't even like, I came back to NXT, but then I had left again because I wasn't ready. And I because you guys are like family. So like the night before, I'm pretty sure you guys remember this LA night in Cameron Grimes, the golf stuff, right?
Yes.
When Grimes was the butler, right? So I was supposed to be part of the shoot to go do that. So that night, I'm getting myself ready, whatever. And I'm sitting there on Twitter, I'm scrolling, and I see Mustafa Ali post about his gender reveal, and for me, it's just like, I don't know what happened, but it was like, in my own mental state, and I was only a couple months removed from what happened to my son, so it kind of took me completely off track and off it. And I text my leadership at that time, and I was like, hey, I can't. I need some time. I can't do this. And I realized, like me as a person, I just wasn't ready to come back. Like my first day coming back to the PC, I came back. My wife and my son came to the show, and it was great. But it was crazy because like Leon Ruff was still there at the time, and I love Leon. He's like basically like a godfather to my son. He wore a shirt from my son's memorial to the show because I actually told him that I was back because I didn't tell nobody I was coming back at that time. So he wore the shirt, and I saw him. I just cried immediately in front of everybody there on TV. And at that moment of time, truthfully, I knew I wasn't fully ready to come back, but I was still trying to go because those are my peers and those are the people. Like at my son's memorial, the limit was 100 people. I thought just my family and my friends, a couple people would come, and I was like, all right, whatever. Over 70 people from the performance center showed up and had the whole back wall filled, and it was over capacity, but they let it go because of the funeral. So I think it's one of those things for me. I saw the love that they was giving me, so I was like, man, I need to get back to work because I can do da. So I was trying to give it back, but in a sense, I just wasn't ready to go back. So when they called me and told me, I told them like, hey, dude, I understand it, and I have no problem with it. Because at the time, I looked at it as like, hey, it was a blessing in disguise. I needed it. I needed to have some more time to go take care of some more things on my own side of things. And they needed, if it was that or if it was, hey, we need somebody's position doing it. Hey, either way, I was happy with it. It was okay. Not happy, like I didn't care, but I'm not sorry because I understand.
Yeah, and I think that, thank you for sharing that, by the way. But like, I think that, coming into it, a lot of people looked at that and they looked at the change from NXT to 2.0 and they said they're fucking it up. They're taking what Hunter did and they're ruining it. And it's, and I even see like former people who worked at the company go on shows and they're like, how do you feel about 2.0? And it's like, oh, they made it into the main roster. And it's like, it's a different, and I remember we talked about it before, like the first night of 2.0, you were watching it with me and you were like, they're going to make these decisions that I know what they're going to do. I'm going to wait to see what's going on. And we were immediately like, I hit you up like, yo, I was skeptical, but they got something going here.
I mean, I think here's the thing that people don't understand, right? NXT Black and Gold or NXT previously has always been, labeled as a third brand, right? And in our eyes, and Hunter was trying to make it that way. But there were just a lot of different things. Like, there were times where like the producers or writers up there, it didn't seem like they were connecting with the NXT people that were coming up, right?
Yeah, kind of. I can see. It felt like that in terms of why the change, because now it feels a little bit more streamlined. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like the journey. Not to say that because J5 and I were talking about this later in terms of differences between 1.0 and 2.0. I mean, a lot of it touted like by the time these wrestlers go up, they're going to know how to act in the WWE ring. But now it seems like these performers and wrestlers they have a spot on the roster, and you can kind of see where they fit in within the context of what the main roster is doing, and they're on NXT as well. So it isn't this like you look at not to say anything about anybody else, but like for instance, you look at Aleister Black and you're like, okay, how do we make him fit in the context of the WWE main roster with all these larger than life stars that we have? I think with 2.0, you're able to see that a lot clearer in terms of where they're going to fit with the model that they kind of have. And I think it's going to lend itself maybe to a little bit more opportunity or a little bit more cohesion with the direction of them on the main roster.
I mean, I look at 2.0 and you can definitely see in like from the folks that I talk to, they're immediately getting feedback. Or they're getting feedback. If it's not same night, they're getting feedback within the time frame of what they're doing from somebody up there that lets them know. So at that point in time, one, it can be scary because like, they're watching, but it's also good because now you're getting a clear direction of what you're doing. Whereas it's like, I hope my pop is good enough here for X amount of takeovers. I do whatever, and then when it's time to go up, that they like me. And I'm not saying that they weren't watching as much as before, but I do know they're watching more now because the product now is definitely something that they have a vision of that can easily transition now. Like a lot, like NXT people like NXT has too many characters. Well, that's wrestling, bro. Like wrestling is, physical, but it's also the charisma, the personality, the stuff. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he had them knee braces on, he wasn't out here doing Canadian destroyers and all that. No disrespect to anybody doing them, but it was more so about the personality and the character that Stone Cold has always been. That made you say, I love that guy because he said F my boss and F today. Oh, I feel the same way. So it's just one of those things where I think that people, right now the internet, it's so much easier to complain about everything. It's so much easier. Because all they do is complain. It's like, this guy took a pin. Oh, they're burying him. Oh man, this guy debuted. Oh, they're gonna ruin him. So it's just nowadays, I think for the first time in a long time, WWE has a product where it doesn't feel as predictable, which is 2.0, and also feels fresh. Like we got new stars, like I said, Carmelo, Braun Breaker, even like Cora J. I remember she posted stuff about a couple of years ago how she was in the crowd doing something or whatever, right? So it's like they're making new stars. They're making new stars like before our eyes. So embrace it instead of getting mad and because people, number one thing is that we see the same thing over and over. So I'm like, don't do that. Let's just embrace what's happening. If you don't like it, turn it off.
Yeah.
Let me ask you quickly about like your role in terms of the PC and NXT and all this stuff like that, because I think when everyone looks at kind of NXT and what they have to offer, they look a lot at the wrestlers, but they don't see kind of how your role maybe adds to the development of a lot of these characters and stuff. Could you maybe talk a little bit about what you've done? Sorry to sound like so much of like this literally sounds like a job interview thing, but I'm very interested because I remember all those things, like for instance, the Tommaso Ciampa, like, multi-part series on his return and his neck. And I remember just DMing you before and I was like, yo, this is like fantastic shit. Like it's humanizing these characters in a way that you've never really seen before.
It was definitely something. So I was on a team called the Content Innovation Team inside the Content Innovation Lab, which is something that they put in there. Hunter and all of them had. Basically, we had this nice humongous size space. They had offices inside of there, and inside of our room was a ring that was surrounded by a green screen and all that stuff. So if you wanted people to wrestle on the moon, you can do that. We did like a lot of like ID shoots and all that stuff, like takeover to stuff for USA inside of our ring room, or when like, but whatever, the stuff that I was doing.
Quick question: did Edge and Randy Orton find your office at any point?
Oh God! yes. They a lot of stuff found my office. That Scarlett singing the intro for Road Dogg on the phone for that for their theme. That was in my office. I remember Road Dogg came and I just like dipped out. But basically, I was a production assistant, and then basically what I was doing was I was helping. We were filming vignettes. We were filming, Taker versus AJ Styles match. We also filmed the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano cinematic match. We also filmed the Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole cinematic match. We did.
Are those very intensive compared to like a lot of other things that you've done? Because it seems so.
It's so the most intense one, I would probably say, might have been this the Taker one, and it wasn't like anybody was tripping. Hunter was freaking awesome, dude. Like nobody was out there tripping. It was just the fact that for me within myself, it's like, it's like 15 of us on foot with cameras, or like 10 or however it was. Well, it was a lot of us on foot with the camera, and I had the one shot where Taker is like looking back at the house, and it's like whatever's going off, and Carl Anderson and whatever coming out, and I had other shots, but it's more so about pressure on myself, because it's like, man, I don't want to be the guy that they load in my memory card and everything's like go to shit. So but it was that. I mean, again, I'm not on here to what the internet says kiss boost for Hunter, but the space that he made for us to work to do these things, it was a reason why I loved working for him. It was fun, man. It was fun. I think for me, it was the kid inside of me was like, dang, man, if this Undertaker's last match, bro, I'm part of the crew that's doing this. Oh my God. Or if like the Gargano and a Ciampa, I remember. So as they were editing that, I ended up going to my former leadership James Long's house, and he had up on the screen, because JB put like all the different camera angles, and it was like, hey, Corny G, great job. So it was a lot of different things for me that I just felt accomplished. So anyway, so we were doing a lot of cinematic matches at that time. Also stuff like Ember's Law. Rough Beginners for Leon Ruff, a lot of the short or long stuff for the WWE PC YouTube. That was myself, James Long, Josiah Williams, Andrew Carr, Giancarlo has definitely put some stuff out on there. So we were doing a lot of the real life stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, that wasn't as easy as people might think it is, because when we came into NXT at that time, like when I got there, Tommy, Alistair was still there, Ricochet and all of them were still there, and they were getting ready to transition out within a couple months. But at that time, everything was like, I got my character. No, like, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm not breaking this for nothing. So when we got guys that peeled back that layer, it was pretty cool. And at first, even the writers and people inside of the PC were kind of like, hey, what's going on? But Coach Bloom was amazing. He kind of helped break down that wall, and what we did as a group, we built up equity. Like, people saw what we were doing, Hunter saw what we was doing. He was like, okay, this is cool. And then we would go to the writers like, hey, okay, so what can we cover? Or we would go to the coaches or the producers like, hey, so what can we do and what can't we do that make you feel comfortable? But then after a while, it came from just a little team just on the side to becoming like, we went from a 1% to like a big to now what you see every single week on NXT TV. Those guys film all the vignettes. Those guys, like, we were doing all that. We were doing TV shoots, sun up to sundown. We would like day after day editing it. Like, it's a lot of different things that goes on that team, and a lot of stuff that goes on and on that side of the building that people just don't understand. And it's okay, because for us, our job was to make the superstars look like superstars.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that we took pride in, and I know those guys still take pride into that, because it's a hell of a work, and it's a lot, and it's very tiring. I can tell you that right now.
Listen, long nights. Like, I remember when COVID hit and it was announced that you guys are going to do Mania, and we're playing Warzone because it had just came out. Like, Warzone had literally just hit in quarantine. And you had got on group chat and you were like, bro, I'm fucking tired. He was like, listen. He was like, I'm tired. I've been up all day. I was like, Cornell, why are you on the game? He's like, I just need something to do right now because you were filming.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell us at the time, but like you were filming the Undertaker thing. So like, what was it kind of like when it was like, all right, we're still going to do this, but we're going to do it this way?
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. For me, I looked at it as I was blessed, man. It was an opportunity for something for me to do that I was like, it was like I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. And the Taker stuff, dog. We left. We got to that side at like 11 o'clock. I didn't get home to my wife till probably like 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning. So we worked a full shift, but man, I had so much goddamn fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was fun, and I think it was just one of the things for me. It was like this to be a part of that, being a part of it and having your hands involved in it. It was WrestleMania, so I didn't care because at that time we didn't know what we were doing. Like we didn't know if we were gonna have any involvement in it. It was kind of like, oh, we'll let you know, and it was like, hey, we filmed the Gargano stuff, and then it was like, hey, we got Taker. And I said, and AJ, yeah, oh, let's go. Like I was ready and willing and able. Like I was just down for it because again, it's just dream. Like I just feel like the passion for me, and anybody who's ever encountered me and knowing about the stuff that I was working on, they know I was beyond passionate about it and beyond passionate just to be a part of this NXT in general. So when I had the opportunity again to work on something with the Undertaker, now.
Right.
For me, I mean, I don't know about anybody else. For me, just as the wrestler, the Undertaker, the persona, the man, myth, the legend, I was beyond happy. And of course, AJ Styles, clearly, right? So, man, I'm just, it was something for me. It was a no brainer. And my wife, she just started watching wrestling when she came into my life, so it was kind of like I guess. So I remember, dog. I remember when it came out and it aired. I put all of us, let's get in the bed, let's watch it. But for me, it was something cool because then, my son Malachi, now he's 11 now, but back then he was just turning 9, well, about to turn 9. So he was just like, what's going on? And then from that day, now he's one of the biggest wrestling fans ever. He thinks he's a wrestling encyclopedia. So for me, it was like, that just show you how much it was a proud moment in our house, in our household, because man, I was just so happy. It was just something for me. It was just something for me to feel like it's an accomplishment because that's just something I'm like, man, I will never forget it. So when they asked, I said, hell yes. I'm not saying no to this. Absolutely.
Nah, I would definitely never say no to that shit. That's like, let's go. Like, for instance, because it's like a real movie cinematic ass thing. Like, if there were credits in that, you'd be right up in there. Like, yo, I did film this, director, all this other stuff. Like, that was some really amazing stuff, man. And I look at all the stuff that on the WWE PC page and all the stuff that turned out and all the stuff that ended up on TV and just like, wow, these guys are really, it takes a lot to take the wrestling part out of it because wrestling fans are so fixated at sometimes on the wrestlers but in terms of the wrestling aspect, oh, this guy can have 4-star matches, oh, this guy can have 5-star matches, but to peel back that layer and really humanize things, and also be a part of something so innovative because it's not necessarily, I mean, the cinematic thing has kind of been, it's been done previously, but never to this grand scale and never at a WrestleMania. So being part of something so innovative and so cool and humanizing and all this other stuff like that, like you guys lived up to the term of innovative in what the hell you guys did, man. That shit was fantastic, bro. That's some goat shit.
But hearing that for me it's kind of like, dang, because like it was only like three or four of us. Most of the time it was 3 of us, right? So it was, man, like we be looking at each other like, dog, and I'd be like, I know, but it was something because, man, it's like we were producing so much content on that YouTube page. We were doing so much, and then we were just like a machine, and it was just, for me, it was just like, holy hell, like, all right. But then after a while, when you start to sit back and start to watch the results from the stuff that you had, you took part in, it's kind of take shape. It's like, damn, I love this place. I think for me, the highlight of the night at the freaking Undertaker thing was freaking 2 things. One, so at the beginning of the match, you see the hearse pull into the thing, and as AJ get out the hearse, ha ha ha. I was like, hey, Hunter, can I drive the hearse? He was like, hell no, you're not driving that shit. But the way he said it, though, because it was like, who's going to drive the hearse? I was like, my big ass was like, I'll do it, boss. He was like, no, you're not driving that shit. And it was like, okay, but it's just a sense of humor is how he said it was just like, it was just that kind of environment. But then also, a crazy part was when Taker hits the window and he broke his arm. Like, he broke his, I'm not going to say broke it, but he busted open his forearm, like, really, really bad. I thought, I was like, dang, well, they'll rest they're doing shit in dirt. I'm like, this shit's gonna be over with. Man, Taker like pulled. He had his gear on. He pulled it down. He had shorts underneath, but he pulled his gear down in his shorts and had like his knee stuff on. He was sitting in the chair like, all right, AJ, you give me 5 minutes. We're gonna go straight through. And I was like, what? Because like his forearm was leaking, so they're cleaning it. That the medical crew, like, they're taking care of it, and he's like, oh, he's like, he's airing out. He's good. And bro, when that man got ready and we started shooting again, that man was incredible. It was like boom, 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 boom. I was like, gee, I'm like, he ain't gonna take no break. Oh, let's go, let's go. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. I'm with it. So man, it was it's just crazy to see Undertaker with like his pants around his knees. Well, again, he had shorts on, nothing crazy. But because some people will take stuff and be like, Undertaker, nah, bro, he has shorts on, but he has like his knee braces stuff on. Just see him sitting there chilling with blood leaking out his arm and him cleaning up. He's looking like a G. I was like, nah, this is fire, dog. Like it was crazy. It was also like 6 o'clock in the morning, so it was cool.
Oh my
Yeah, he was probably tired. And then I go to see. So one more thing I do want to ask, and I see, we talk about this all the time, and I try and speak through you as a vessel in the show in terms of just how you get frustrated at this. Like working in a place where there's stuff that gets out, dirt sheet stuff, internet stuff that comes out. You're always fact checking people about certain things when it comes to what writers put out about it and what they put out about essentially your friends. These are people that you know. Like, what do you feel about like just the state of like wrestling journalism being on the other side of the shit now?
So I get that, some people are just doing what they're like, they hear stuff and they gotta just do stuff, and I get it. I get it. I just think for me, it's like people can say what they want, that's fine, but just for every action is a reaction. So for everything you write, there is gonna be a response. So for me, it's like some stuff I don't even say nothing about it because like, all right, whatever. But there's certain things that are like blatant, like it's like, come on, bro. No, that's not right. Because I just feel like if you're gonna create this narrative on somebody, then come on, man. Like you gotta at least do the fact check. Now, I'm not saying the journalism people don't do their fact check. I'm just saying for the stuff that I do reply to it, it's not accurate. And
Right.
and now I don't like to short the people's job and say you're bad at your job while you're working. But if you have a job, then understand that's your job. Right. If people are looking for you for a source, or if they're looking at your word as gospel, or whatever you're writing as a Bible, then that's something that you got to understand that. So it's like you have a responsibility that you're putting on yourself to be a factual person. So there's just certain things like it's like, nah, man, like that's just not cool. Like, and I remember, what was it? There was something about it was something about Hunter that was said, that are basically like he blew a lid about something about AEW or whatever. Something. It was
Oh
something
yeah, the
about,
ratings or something like that.
yeah. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, in I on TV days, I can tell you firsthand that like Hunter's probably the most busiest man to even be worrying about ratings or blowing the lid about something. But it just certain things that I've seen. I'm like, come on, man, that's not factual. I just feel like, again, if you are putting responsibility on yourself to be somebody whose word is gospel, then be that, But understand that, like, I get that some people like to do clicks and all that stuff, and I get it. But just remember, like if you're gonna put out a false narrative on somebody, just remember the reputation that you're building for that person. It might not be accurate. So.
Right. Look, I got one more question, and then we can wrap this up. What's something that you've been a part of that you wish came out but never saw the light of day?
Oh my God. So, man, I was gonna start doing a Dakota Kai documentary leading up to her match with Raquel, but then I ended up being away, and I was going to do so fun fact, so maybe in my first year, Swerve, Scott, Montez, Angelo Dawkins, and Bianca, now Bianca not so much, but definitely like Docs and Tez, we were talking about doing like a group. And I remember like Doc showed up to the shoot. We were inside a warehouse. We had like this brick wall thing, and we were gonna do something where like they turned heel and work out with basically like a stable with like the Profits and Swerve.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, so never got to that. I also did this split personalities thing with Swerve, where James Long, my former boss, helped me like basically like map out Swerve and have him on different sides of the ring, like he was talking to himself. And there was a lot of different things. What else, man? There's so many different things that literally there's so many different things that ended up not. But I would definitely say my number one thing will probably be, I don't know if it's gonna come out now, but I do know like Malcolm Bivens, man, we were trying to get him a show. We were trying to get him a show, dude.
He deserves a fucking show.
We were trying to get him a show, dude. Like we tried so hard, and I hope it comes to fruition. I don't know if it will or not. I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying that, but it was definitely something like if y'all weren't gonna give him a show, please get that man a show because he deserves like a night show, and that was definitely something we were kind of aiming towards to get. So
Malcolm, he ducked me when I went to NXT 2.5 years ago. The USA premiere. Then he ducked me.
Man, I remember going out there for the USA premiere, freaking Full Sail. It's jam packed. I look to my left, J5 over there is jigging. I'm like, oh, what's up? What's up? But nah, I again, I look at that as like good times, right? And I think that's the thing. Like, you know, granted, everybody's not in the same situation in their life to look at a situation and say, okay, I understand. Because, you know, personal, like I like for the wrestlers that might feel some type of way about them being let go at NXT, I understand you. Like, you put your body on the line. You know what I'm saying? You did a lot of stuff. You know, I understand it too. So I just think that it's just like, it was good times for me. And I don't want people to think I'm bootlicking, but bro, like, I think.
No, you're not. Listen, man, you worked there. Ain't no fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you worked there. If you had a good experience.
Ain't no way, boy.
Well, for me, it's just like nobody has lived or walked the mile of the shoe. I hope not within the last year that I've had. So for me, it's just one of the things for people to understand. It's like work is work. Fuck work, right? Excuse my language, but F work. It's just one of the things where it's like I look at NXT and I see people. Like, you know, I see wrestling. I see wrestling second. I see people. So I see people like Dakota Kai. I see people, you know. So for me, I'm forever grateful that I got to encounter like people, and I got to be around those people because those people definitely, again, were with me at my lowest point. Like, like I know you still want to wrap this up, but I have to do this because like when I first came back to the PC, Hunter was talking to Road Dogg and whatever, and we were walking, and he was like walking, and he stopped and was like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" Now he usually only has that type of temperament with talent because like, hey, you want to talk to some shit. But he pulled me all the way to the side, and we talked for like 15 minutes of him just saying like, "How you doing? Are you all right? I'm so happy to have you back." And you know, a cuss of those kind of things. But the fact that man, again, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm in awe, but the fact that I was already going at that time for 2.5 months, but the fact that he saw me was like, hey, let me holler at you. You good? Like he could have been all extra in front of people like, hey, Cornell, are you okay? No, he wanted to pull me to the side. So I just want to say thank you to that man because again, it's a lot of things that people don't understand that people can do for you or make you feel that make you feel a certain type of way about the experience that you had. And you know, how NXT made me feel was loved, and that's why it's always loved. So I just want to say that before we ended this because I do owe that man a thank you.
Oh well, we want to thank you, Cornell, for giving, you know, kind of like your first time you ever spoke on your experience at NXT, and you know, it's so much. We can't possibly put all of this into one show, but I just want to thank you for being able to come on, man.
Well, no, I appreciate y'all, and please know this is my first and last. No, because here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. It's like, you know, I can only take. I want to take my experience and talk to people that I can trust, that I know aren't going to sit up here and misconstrue what I'm saying or make it feel like it was more than what it was or less than what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm good. Like for me, this is like the last you open the gate, you let it all out. I mean, all I got is like happiness and roses and flowers and butterflies. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So. No,
you got the bag, sir.
Hey,
listen, man.
But again, I'm thankful for y'all to let me be on here, and you know, within the next couple weeks, I can assure you, either I will be, I will be employed at somebody's location. But I do got a feeling that it'll hit different if you catch my drift.
Ooh. Okay. Turn that up. Okay, well, Cornell, thank you so much for being on the show. When we get back to the A Show, we'll be talking more trash about this week in wrestling. We'll be right back. All right. Damn, that was good. That was great. We talked to Cornell this week, but
I'm very happy with this interview, man. Like just hearing everything that he kind of went through and hearing that kind of experience, like we talk a lot to the wrestlers and stuff like that, but this is an experience that you don't really get to hear from the mind of the creative in terms of how we're propelling and how we advance these wrestlers' careers and how creatively we think of stuff to, how to incorporate them into the roster and stuff like that. And then also all the other news that we heard, which was fantastic. I mean, Swerve with the Street Profits,
Crazy.
all this other stuff like that. So, tap in. Let's tell your friends to subscribe to the A Show on RNC Radio.
Before we go to break, a lot of happenings around the sphere. Of course, Jay Cargill winning the TBS title. We'll talk about that in the Patreon a little bit. But we also got Braun Breaker winning the NXT title. Before break, how'd you feel about that?
Whew, I'm fine with it. It feels right.
Yeah.
It feels like the next step this feels like I was glad he didn't win it the first time. Not to say that he wasn't ready or any more ready than he is now, but you don't want to give it up so easy.
Right.
He worked for it. They doubled down. They pushed him forward, and him winning the NXT championship, it's a good look. It's a really good look.
Yeah. I thought the match was really good. I think Ciampa, I
honestly
wasn't
really even paying attention to the match until like the last final seconds. I was like, is he winning this?
Yeah, it was. Ciampa was really good. Let me just say, he's good, and his beliefs notwithstanding, that guy's he's a beast in the ring, and he's made Braun look good several times. And I thought that he kind of gave you that thought, because at one point I was like, yo, he took the widow's bell, he took the little rope thing to his nuts. I was like, oh, it's over. And he kicks out, and I was like, that was a believable near fall. And it was also, him doing his dad's finisher, then his uncle's finisher to finish it. I thought it was great. I feel like WWE's they're kind of playing the Scott right now. They're trying to get Scott on board, I think, with the stuff they're doing with Braun. I really think that Scott Steiner, sooner than later, will more than likely step foot in a WWE ring, if you can believe that or not, because they're really trying to kind of get on his good side with Braun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's it's a good look, and I think even for Ciampa in terms of where he's going to land after this, he had that dark match on SmackDown. I think he had a match on Main Event. Now, don't get me wrong, these were the same things that happened to many other people on the roster, and they've ended up released. But I think we'll see where it goes. I don't really. If that was the last time we saw Ciampa on NXT TV, I'm perfectly fine with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's time. He's got to go. Do something else, brother.
It's more than time.
Yeah.
Listen, some news slid across my table, right?
Okay. I know what you're talking about too.
All right. It's slid across my table. Mark Henry says AEW is releasing a hip hop compilation for Black History Month. Nah.
All right, man. Listen. We are not crazy for pointing this type of shit out, right? Everything Big Swole has said is happening. Disingenuous support of minorities, trying to overcompensate and cover with empty actions. Come on. This is it right here.
Compilation where, bro? Like what?
Who's going to be on it? AEW isn't even known for hip hop.
Nah. Listen, come on, the Acclaimed. Come on, bro.
Who's clearing this? Who's clearing these songs and this music?
Listen, they've already been some issues with the rappers clearing
yes
related music this week. So I'm interested to see if I'm just gonna say, listen, I don't want to hear they hear this thing and West Side Gun is like, yo, why wasn't I on this shit?
Oh Lord. Listen, one thing is Black Music Month is in June. Yes. So if you really want to do something for Black History Month, you could do maybe video series, because maybe that won't look or sound as rushed as what you're trying to do right now.
They ain't got no damn footage. They got footage. They ain't got no damn footage.
How about they fucking go to Jade Cargill's house, meet her daughter, figure out what she does in her free time? She's the new fucking TBS champion.
Let's do that. I'm down with that.
How about
Well,
you
other than
fucking
that, yeah.
like who gives a fuck about the Acclaimed? Not my black ass.
And I guess Leo Rush, yes. I guess Leo Rush would be like, yes, I'm also EPing this.
That's
I'm
an
almost
auto
sure.
skip. That's an auto skip. If I see any type of anything, that's auto skip. I don't want to hear that shit. That ain't G. That's not G shit. I'm not listening to that shit, man.
It's not P?
It's not P at all. That is not P. Listen to Rush music. Leo Rush. Like,
that's not P.
Fuck out of here, man.
Oh my god. I was trying to figure out how I was going to incorporate that.
Also, Bret Hart got an NFT. Don't follow Nas, man.
Oh my god. That's
biggest grift in the game. I ain't buy no fucking Bret Hart NFT. Fuck out of here, man. Anyway, we're gonna go to break real quick, and after we get back, we're gonna talk about how WWE might be the kings of pivoting, because last week was pivot season in terms of how their main shows went. So we're gonna talk about that when we get back from break.
That falls on you. I don't have a clue who you are until I met you at day one. So now it's your fault that you didn't climb the ladder of success and enter into the same arenas I did. I must apologize, Bobby, because if we had met, I would have already beaten you, and we wouldn't be here right now. With all due respect. At the Royal Rumble, when I beat you for that title, and then you start your tour as a stand-up comedian, you know, me and MVP here, we'll be sitting front row because as a comedian, Brock, you are money. I'm funny and I'm money. Hey, Paulie. Yes, sir. Knock, knock.
Brock Lesnar does a knock-knock joke in Philadelphia. I thought I saw it all. Okay, Brock, who's there?
Bobby.
Bobby who?
Exactly.
Dog. Bro. Yikes.
Banged on him.
Yikes.
Banged on him.
Listen, man. I only got one thing to play for that. This what happened. This what happened to Bobby Lashley, bro.
Fuck Jay-Z.
What's up, niggas?
Yo,
I know you.
Stop, because every time that song, plays, I remember a line from that, and it's the funniest shit for like the next like 36 hours. Because it is so flagrant. It does not age well if you want to go back and listen to it.
Oh, you know, I know what line you're talking about too.
There's like 7 of them that don't age well. But there's so much funniness. This was definitely one of those songs where I guess you had to be there, because other than that, it looks wild. Oh, yeah. In 2022, it looks wild that Nas is even speaking like that.
Yeah, it has aged terribly. I even think that like if you were to play that today, you'd be like, "Y'all was going up for this," and you'd be like, "Yeah," but it's
you
like
had to be there.
You had to be there. It was in the moment. Like I mean, everyone was saying the lines, but we're not gonna say that. Brock ain't have to do that to that boy.
He having a great time. I mean, it seems like he's having a great time with everything that he's been doing.
Oh, he's fantastic right now. I can't see how you could be mad at him having the title with as much fun as he's having right now with it. I think he's great. I didn't know he had the range.
I feel like I did, because like it's not that he wasn't funny before, because in another segment that probably doesn't age well, do you remember Mariachi Brock? He brought out before he faced Eddie Guerrero at No Way at 2004. He brought out an entire mariachi brand, and that was one of the best things I've ever seen. Still to this day, oh my god, we got to do that for like watch along or some shit like that.
Racist.
Incredibly racist, but I mean, I don't know if incredibly, like, you know, it's on the line.
I won't say incredibly. It was a tinge racist.
It was a tinge. It was like, all right, stay in your lane, buddy.
A teaspoon of racist.
But he didn't write that, so it's not like any. But yes, Brock, hilarious. Listen, he had a big week. Not only did he show up on Raw, but he showed up on SmackDown.
He's showing up a lot, so that's how you know the bag is different. He got some top dollar.
All that Jonah Rock money, man. Come on.
Yo,
I watched Hard to Kill. Didn't even say this. I could have did my own Patreon spiel on that, but I did watch Hard to Kill. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, but wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get into I'm sure there's a topic on SmackDown that we'll get into that might overlap with Hard to Kill, with someone appearing, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, well, let's get into SmackDown. Big thing in SmackDown, Brock showing up, meeting Roman Reigns face to face. Roman fresh off of protocols, face to face. More Paul Heyman stuff here. They are bleeding the stone with this Paul Heyman stuff to see where he's gonna end up at. What you think?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, yo, it's an issue on SmackDown, but doesn't seem to be an issue on Raw. That's the inconsistency of the writing. I was like, I expected like a little fallout, a little awkwardness, a little something along those lines, maybe a little miscommunication, something or other. Seems to be a Blue Brand exclusive storyline, and I'm not even sure how many more times Brock Lesnar will engage with Roman Reigns from here on moving forward, because they both seem to have a direction moving into the Royal Rumble that requires more time. But I love that opening segment. I love him going up against Roman Reigns. I'm interested to see where this goes. Maybe Paul Heyman will show up on SmackDown this week. Who knows?
They got him working. It's Mania season, so everybody got to get to work. And it started early. Mania season literally started on the first day of the year this year, which is insane. But
I'm glad. It needs to start earlier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's where it is. Like, I like the segment. I liked Paul Heyman's, said, I loved you. And then Brock being like, whoa, nigga, chill. Like,
yo. I was about to say some other shit. Yo, chill with that,
Yeah, chill, man. Get off his dick. Charlotte versus Naomi happened.
Highlight of SmackDown for me.
It was good.
I think
Charlotte has had to pivot more than most on this show.
Yes.
Now she doesn't even have Sasha Banks. So Charlotte is on an island of her own.
Listen, if this gives an opportunity to Naomi, I'm all for this, because to be honest with you, I want to give this might be a little hot take. This is like one of the best Naomi matches that I've ever seen ever in my life. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's had moments. She's been a consistent character in our lives for the last number of years. But there aren't many, I guess, Naomi matches that I can like call off the top of my head and be like, yo, besides the title wins, besides the moments, besides other stuff, I think this was a fantastic match. And I think both of these ladies been waiting to have this match for a long time, because I remember during Naomi's title reign, they had a Charlotte match. Now it ended without a result, but I think these two have wanted to have a program for so long, because I believe truly that Charlotte 100% adores and respects Naomi and would even throw down her title reign if it meant a Naomi title reign. I think she stands Naomi, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that'd be hard. I mean, you could just have Asuka show up on SmackDown. I think that's automatic.
But we don't know the status of Asuka. Like, what's Asuka?
Well, where the fuck is Xia Li at? Xia Li was working the house show. She's not currently announced for the Royal Rumble, but no, she's not. She was working house shows, so.
Okay. Well, she ain't working on house shows no more. I'm just saying that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see her in a minute. I think she just for the weekend, like Glen Falls or some shit. I seen it. I hope
But
so. Well, I hope everything's all right. How about that? Let me say that first. I hope everything's all right with Zia Lee, and I hope we do eventually see her in the Royal Rumble, because she wasn't even announced for the Royal Rumble, which was a thing that was announced during Charlotte Flair's promo. I didn't know Charlotte Flair's promo would be like. I thought it was going to be a regular Charlotte Flair promo. No, it had reveals, stakes.
Yes,
big
so let's
things.
talk about these. They revealed a lot of the field for the Women's Royal Rumble. So you have Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Queen Zelina, Tamina, Shotzi, Natalya, Aaliyah, Naomi, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte Flair, along with the Bella Twins, Nikki and Brie Bella, Lita, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Summer Rae, and Mickie James. Now, if you remember correctly, not too long ago, Mickie James got all of her shit put in the trash bag, which caused literally everyone to be fucking like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I think Stephanie McMahon came out and actually said that person's been fired. This should have never happened, et cetera, et cetera. And that was pretty much like a huge topic of conversation. We talked about it on the show at length. It was really big issue. It seems to me, and according to reports, John Laurinaitis actually reached out to Mickie James to make this happen. And they actually teamed up with Scott D'Amore to make it happen. And there could be potentially more things coming out for Royal Rumble of people who WWE is working with to get in this match.
Come on, Forbidden Door. Come on. The one thing that AEW didn't do with the Forbidden Door, which is a great grievance upon them, was include women in this entire thing. Because when you have talents like Mickie James, you know, and everybody else that's featured on Impact, Deonna Purrazzo, I guess Chelsea Green could still pitch things if that Forbidden Door ends up opening back to the WWE. But Impact has their knockouts division continues to be consistent for like the last 15 years. WWE's women's division is also at an all-time high in terms of quality itself. Come on, AB right there.
Yeah. Listen, Mickie James, ultimate bag getter. Get the bag.
Good for her. It's like actually kind of historical. This is something that I would equate to like Chris Jericho in 2018, 2019. Like that you're not necessarily held to one place. You built up enough stock and cachet among yourself where you can get bags everywhere that you go. You can be like, yo, I don't really want to sign a deal. I don't want to be held down for 2-3 years. I want to kind of do what I want to do, but I know what I can bring to your product as well. So, you know what? Shout out to Mickie James.
Yeah.
Shout out to Summer Rae. What are your thoughts on Summer Rae? Are you a Summer Rae fan?
I think it's great that she's coming back, man. I think it's really, really cool. She hasn't been around for a while. She's actually like one of the few, former people who worked there that have actually come out and done this. So I'm excited to see what she's gonna do.
She picking up right where she left off, feud with Natty. I'm like, go. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan. And then I think we also need to launch an investigation for the doctor that cleared Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Last I heard, she could not even be touched. Like when she was going into WrestleMania with John Cena, like when she got that diagnosis before, I don't think she even took a bump that entire match, and neither did Maurice, to that matter. But yeah, we might need to figure that out because, like, I'm sure they're gonna want to run with that tag team titles. I'm sure we're gonna get that. So it'll be interesting.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna get it too. Fuck. Anyway, do you want to talk about the men or you want to Raw? Because a lot of them got announced on Raw over the past couple of days.
Nothing really happened on SmackDown. Oh, how do you feel about Johnny Knoxville? He's in the Royal Rumble.
Listen, people are pissed. Jackass Forever comes out on the 4th or 8th or something of February. It is what it is. Y'all got to stop. Like, y'all wasn't mad at Drew Carey. Why are you mad at this? You say it could go to somebody, nigga.
We're a Rumble mad at Drew Carey.
I feel like people looked at it like a comedy thing. It popped the arena every time he did it. In my opinion, I was never.
They were there promoting, I guess, his also pay-per-view, which is like, I don't even know what it was. Like a live Whose Line Is It Anyway on pay-per-view? What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then the only people who were mad were Chaz and D'Lo Brown, who got taken out of the thing, and Tiger Ali Singh. Huh.
Oh, well.
No, well.
It's It's a bag. It's a Paramount bag. So
Absolutely.
I mean, that's why he's there. That's why he's there. I think he will take the crazy bumps that they want him to take, and he's gonna do it. So I'm not too mad about it. Of course, he joins Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Austin Theory, Sheamus, Damian Priest, AJ Styles, and Big E in the Men's Royal Rumble so far announced.
Let's head to Monday Night Raw.
Oh, actually, we had a that's not it for SmackDown. So we had another fucking Usos. We had another Usos New Day match in the main event. And at the end, you had or before that, you had Adam Pearce show up at Roman Reigns' office saying that he did pick his next opponent. Seth Rollins actually comes out and he does the Shield knock on the door. Oh, what's going on?
Traffic.
Everything good?
Traffic.
Yeah, man, the city that never sleeps. Seth Rollins comes in, and Seth Rollins is set up and confirmed on Raw to be Roman Reigns' next challenger. We'll talk about that when we get over to Raw. Let's go to Raw. Title change, a new contender. A lot of shit happened this week on Monday Night Raw.
Raw was insurmountably better than SmackDown to me this week.
100%.
I use the term insurmountably. There was like 12 people on SmackDown the entire show, literally. Raw was a lot more of an adventure, a lot more highs and lows, a lot more segments and playing off. Listen, they fleeced SmackDown. I'm gonna say this until I'm blue in the face. They fleeced them. All the best parts.
I'm not gonna agree yet.
All the best parts are there. But yeah, what are we talking about first? Let's see. What can we talk about first?
We had Brock Lesnar again, showing up face to face with Bobby Lashley, completely eviscerates him on the mic. I think they should not do mic stuff between these two anymore.
I feel like the mic thing with Bobby, because Bobby really just comes out in an expensive suit, looks at people and says he's going to beat them up. And I'm like, there's not really anything towards that. There's no story. There's no stakes. There's no emotion. If you're just going to say this, just tweet it. But he seems they have a lot of respect for one another. It's great having to see them. It looks like a clash of worlds, right? Like,
yeah,
Bobby Lashley looks like I said on Twitter, he looks like the villain in a Tyler Perry movie. Like, and Brock looks like this big country, affable.
Hey, can I say that I feel like Bobby needs some veneers?
Oh, because of that tooth thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was missing a tooth.
I think he's missing both sides. Near up, bruh. When he opened his mouth, I thought he looked like goddamn Jeezy. Remember when they thought Jeezy didn't have teeth?
Why are you doing this to me? You need. Why do you? Let's bring the gold tooth back.
In this whole.
Let's bring the gold tooth back. Come on. Let's bring the gold tooth back. Just one gold tooth, just in his mouth, like Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday to Mary J. Blige.
When Brock said exactly in the crowd, you don't want to do that in Philadelphia, man. Like you just have the potential to really kind of undercut Bobby because he's not as good at promos as Paul is. But I thought it was effective. The Hurt Business stuff is weird because they're kind of doing that all over again. And it's like, listen, y'all know y'all can't beat his ass, right? So stop trying.
Yeah, they need to do something with that. They need to figure out whatever they're going to do with that. But yeah, I agree. They can't beat his ass, so what are y'all really doing?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Just cut that shit out, man. Like, move. Y'all some little ass boys. Move. So we got that going. That seems to be full speed. We had the rated. We had RK Bro versus Alpha Academy. Really solid match. Really loved Randy kind of saying, hey, like, tag me in, trying to coach Riddle still. And then they have the match and they lose the titles. And Randy is, in fact, the one who takes the pinfall here.
Damn shame.
I've been predicting Randy versus Riddle for Mania. I think this is how you get there. You can't have two. There was another big tag team turn here, so I get why they didn't do it tonight. But what do you feel about them losing the titles here?
I don't think... in terms of Randy versus Riddle, I feel like I'm over because we get them so frequently. Hell, we got it tonight. the tag team broke up, and now they're probably gonna have a match later down the line. I kind of want to see the story veer in a different way, but them losing the tag team championships, first of all, losing to Otis is just, they really trying. They still trying with this man, right? I guess so.
I feel like Otis is light years better than what they've given him something. And
he in a tag team, baby. He in his natural element.
Well, that, and I feel like he can't be RKO'd is actually a funny and really cool thing to have for him, is that he can't be RKO'd. I think that was neck. Like, or just the idea that Chad has been watching tape, like, he was tweeting, like, I've been watching game tape, I've been watching tape of, how people have avoided it. Like, I think that's actually really interesting and cool, and I'm glad that they've carried that over. I honestly think they've done really good with Alpha Academy in the past couple of weeks. Like, they've looked like threats, and they've had a direction also. So for them to win it, I think it was the right move, it's the right choice. I think it was really good to do it on TV, because you rarely get title changes on TV. We usually kind of see them and they're like, oh, it's not going to happen. Just like a couple weeks ago, we got Beth versus Liv and we were like, there's no way, right? So like this was a shocking thing to happen on the show. And I do think we get a rematch. I really think we get Randy Riddle down the road. I'm with you. I agree that I think that I would rather them like kind of amicably go their own way, but it just seems like that's where they're going to go here.
I could see them like, if they like, I don't know if there's a tournament or like maybe Elimination Chamber or something along those lines, but I don't want to see them like break up. I don't want to see them do what Nikki and Rhea just did.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that. I don't know. I'm just the standard tag team breaks up and we're on the road to WrestleMania thing has been done maybe too many times for my liking. Just maybe. It could just be me. But I'm sure they're gonna have a fire match nonetheless. But yeah, very, very interesting that they lost the tag team titles on Monday Night Raw, especially to kick off Monday Night Raw. But yeah, lots more stuff happened on Monday Night Raw, man. Like,
yeah, a lot more stuff happened. We had let's get into that breakup then.
Okay, that was weird.
Between Nikki ASH. Do you think it was weird, or did you expect it to be the other way around? And they swerved.
No, I didn't expect it to be the other way around, because I think Nikki was the one. She was the one who was kind of like, what's the word? Insecure regarding her lack of wins and Rhea's wins and stuff like that. So I did expect actually Nikki to turn on her. But it's just so interesting because literally, like, they were the only other tag team left. And they break up every tag team, like everyone. And you know what? I get it. It's Mania season. We got plans for Rhea. We got big plans. We don't need no tag teams. Only big plans. So let's get
the turn. I thought the turn in itself, I'm glad they did it in ring. I thought Rhea came off kind of natural. And I thought that Nikki was really good. I didn't see too much of the, I watch it later, so I didn't see too much of what the thought was on the timeline when it happened.
I don't think people cared. But
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. They're like, oh, okay, another tag team breaks up.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, again, I was worried that people were like, well, she could have drawn so much money. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, let's change it up. I think Nikki, honestly, the sales had gone out of her run in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just don't know if they know how to book that type of character for an audience today. And I think that falls on kind of creative, not giving her anything, but also Charlotte coming back right when she won the title. It was definitely something that they were like, we got to put the title back on Charlotte. I think Rhea has been kind of latched onto her for so long, and she's
this was always part of the plan. I feel like this was always part of the plan for Rhea, because I think it was, let's get her out of the title scene, but let's still have her in something somewhat moderately significant. Let's continue to tread this water, and when we're ready for her to be back in the mix, we'll pull her back out.
Yeah. I think I think that it was fine for her to be there, but she's clearly the hottest act in the group, and she's still, even in the tag team, has not gotten heavy reactions. And I thought that the crowd reacted in general like the right way when Nikki actually did attack her. So I think that, again, you're coming out of here with Rhea as a major babyface, and it's working. So let's change Nikki's whole attire. You know what I'm saying? Let's change what she looks like. Let's see how she does as a heel. Don't you feel like Raw's a little too heel heavy, especially with Alexa coming back?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think they're the most bombastic personalities. If you want me to say that,
Yeah.
they are definitely very heel heavy. But they need a lot. I think they need, Randy Orton is probably the top face on the show, right?
Orton?
Yeah.
It's probably Orton. I would say Orton, Riddle, some combination of those three on the men's side. Yeah,
I would say in that. Yeah, but I think no doubt the most popular man on the on the roster is Randy Orton, but you don't really want to see him back in the title picture. I think we need a lot more popular faces on the show. I definitely do think we need that. Also, Edge is very popular, I guess, as well. Speaking of Edge.
I thought this segment was. I thought this was such a good segment.
Right? Like, I know I'm gonna agree, of course.
I really did think I was sitting there watching. I was like, man, do you know why I love it? Because Edge always wanted to do this with his wife, and when it started to make sense to me. At first, I was like Miz, and then when it started bringing in Maurice into it, I was like, "Oh, I get it." And I said, "Oh, but these are the only two people that make sense to have this type of match against and this type of program against." Edge just literally worshiping his wife is such a like 15 years ago. This is a different conversation, you know what I'm saying? That we're having about Edge and a woman on TV. I love to see him happy, man. I love to see it.
Listen. And I love the part that Maurice walks away from this. It's so non-wrestler-esque, you know what I'm saying? Like, the bombast personality of being a heel is like, yo, we can beat you at any time, any place. And, whether it be, straightforward or not. But to say, like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And she just kind of, like, walks away. And the Miz is kind of have to, like, yo, I think that's a very interesting wrinkle to this entire thing as well. I think naturally we would see Maurice also insult Beth for her hair or something along those lines. But her walking away is a nice change of pace because now it forces them to develop, like, how do we get her in this ring and how do we have her do what she's got to do?
Yeah. I loved it. I really did like it. If you get a chance, check out the segment where he just talks about and just literally serenades Beth. With
Shits
so
on
much,
Philly too. So if I were Ben Simmons, I would have also left for $33 million.
He says, "I stand with Ben Simmons." I said, "Too easy." I said,
way
"This
too
easy." Big E, Seth Rollins. Were people pissed off about this?
Probably. But Seth Rollins is going to he's in the World Championship match. So it's not like when I saw the match come, first of all, it was a fantastic match. When Seth Rollins has his working boots on, he is working.
Yeah.
And I think Big E himself, there's been a lot of talk regarding Big E's championship reign and all this other stuff like that. And he's even came out and said just recently, I think he expected a lot more. Not necessarily from the brass, but he expected his reign to be a little bit more, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. So now he's trying to look forward to maybe what that next reign is going to be. I think we need to look forward to how does Big E bounce back and how does he reinvent himself in a way? Because I do think there needs to be a little bit of reinvention. I think the model of Big E has kind of ran its course a little bit.
Right.
And I think that we need something, especially, I mean, we were talking about this like a year ago in terms of when they split them up. And it's like, I think there needs to be something different with E. I think the current model of Big E has definitely ran its course. I think he can still represent all the things that he wants to represent, but he can also have a new character or a new wrinkle within him to be able to do that as well. I think Big E just needs something different. But in this chance, it's like, yo, Seth Rollins is facing Roman Reigns for a Universal title at Royal Rumble. He's taking that L. He just is.
Yeah, you got to take that. It just is what it is. Like, It's the same type of parody that they would do if it was Seth versus AJ. It ain't different. Like, the thing is that we want it to be so equal that we're still getting the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still in that like, Seth beating a former WWE champion is the path that he needs to take to get to Brock. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. that's just that's the story. Yeah, that's the story. I thought it was a great match though. Definitely go out of your way to see that one as well. Damn, a lot of shit happened on Raw. Skipping that 24/7 bullshit. Grayson Waller.
Them cheesesteaks look ass. I was like, what? And fucking Dana Brooke. I hate her so much. Oh man, I was waiting to try these. I was like, I hate you so much. I do. I just do.
She reads off her lines like it's like 2006. She's a
she
voiceover.
Reads them like they're the best lines. Just ad lib it. You're saying you want to taste the thing. Why are you practicing this? Why did you practice this? Like, you're like, I hate her so damn much.
AJ Styles is facing Austin Theory. Where's Finn? I guess he's still in PTO. But
yeah. Oh, look at this. My Uber Eats orders come in and they're coming upstairs.
There you go.
There you go.
So Grayson Waller comes out. It's seeming more and more increasingly clear that AJ is moving on from this show.
Is it? He's in the Rumble.
I mean, he can be in the Royal Rumble. There's going to be NXT people there too. They still need him for that. I think he's still going to be full-time NXT. It's clear.
Oh, I mean, that would be an interesting thing. I mean, he's got a match on NXT tonight if you're listening to this on Patreon, or last night if you're not paying the $5, patreon.com/the or 10 or 15 or 20 or 50.
Oh my God. They posted who's going to be on that AEW album.
Read it off. I need this.
Nah. Shout out Mega Ran. Shout out Josiah.
Aw.
But y'all don't get roped into some bullshit, man.
Listen, man. Come on, man.
Why Sonny Kiss on this album, man? Don't get roped into no BS, man.
Yo. Come on, man. No, I need to see this list.
I love y'all, man. Look at our Discord. I love y'all, man. But like, don't get roped in, man. Don't get roped into the BS, man. Shout out Mega Ran. Shout out Josiah, man.
God bless. God bless.
God bless.
Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. They outsource black people to get this thing. No, I'm kidding. Let me shut up.
Don't get you. Okay, let's talk about
Hold on, you talk about this. I gotta go get my food from the front door. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. So Alexa Bliss has returned, quote unquote. She's doing the psychology thing. How come they love doing psychology stuff with WWE? Like, that therapy is not a game, man. No, don't play with therapy. She comes back. He asks her a question. And he says, where are you at? Like, what place are you at in life? Goes back to when Lily got ripped up way back when last year, and she pretty much trashes The Office. So it seems as though Alexa will be kind of floating in these vignettes for the next couple of weeks. There was actually no Veer vignette. I'm going to bring that up when Meelz comes back this week. So it seems like
bring it up now. I got my food. I'm happy.
Okay, where is Veer? Alexa's coming. Where is Veer?
I don't give a damn about no damn Veer. Who cares? I ain't give a damn about Veer in the first place. He's lucky. He should have went with Shanky. That's what his ass should have went with.
Shanky can't even get on the show. Yo, your road getting released. That curry beef freestyle ruined their whole momentum, bro.
Listen, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about how Hit Row not only got them. Hit Row was also let go, but then ruined the subsequent TV time of Jinder Mahal and Shanky. So, hey,
good job, y'all.
Good job,
man.
Listen,
triple threat time.
Rap can be dangerous. I'm just saying.
Well, before we get to the main event, how'd you feel about the Alexa Bliss thing? Just wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see. Honestly, I didn't even pay attention.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even. I don't care. I don't care. Just bring her back.
Triple threat time. Doudrop versus Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan. Solid match. Went about 4 commercial breaks too. This is probably, I think it's the longest match.
Not Quan say he needs Sunny Kiss on the Material Girl remix.
He's wilding. Is this the longest match that like Doudrop has had on this brand so far? Definitely the longest I've seen her.
First of all, let me. I have to say this because I really do want to give her attention. Her name is Doudrop.
Mhm.
Her name is Doudrop. That is the name that she has to wrestle with, that she's undoubtedly going to be the most popular with. That's going to stay with her for the rest of her career in the WWE, more than likely. Her name is Doudrop. How she has been able to excel in the last 6 months with a name like Doudrop is a testament to how good she really is.
Mhm.
She was introduced with Eva Marie. Eva Marie is one of the worst wrestlers probably in the last decade to ever step foot in WWE. She is a heat magnet, but even the heat itself was a little bit weird when she came back. It wasn't all right, to be honest with you. But she persevered. She was then in, I guess she transitioned from that to the Bianca feud. And
No, she was
lost.
Queen of the Ring. Queen of the Ring.
Oh, yes.
Queen of the Ring.
Queen of the Ring. She lost
Crown,
that in the final. Queen of the Ring, Queen's final, Queen's Crown. She lost that in the finals.
She went to Saudi Arabia, though.
She went to Saudi Arabia. Yeah. She went to Saudi Arabia, though. But she lost in the finals. Still, an incredible showing. She transitions to that feud with Bianca Belair. Hits that mat every single time she's in the ring. Because it's Bianca Belair. I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes. But she looks damn good doing it. Right. So, January 10th, triple threat match in the main event of Monday Night Raw, number one contender match to see who will face Becky Lynch at the Royal Rumble. I low-key expected Liv to win again. I'm not even going to front.
Yeah.
I expected Liv to win. I expected there to be a stipulation announced, etc., etc. Doudrop wins. Major shout out to Doudrop for persevering. For just persevering so damn long and being so damn good that they couldn't ignore you.
Yeah. It just goes to show. Cream rise to the top. I see women's championship in her future. I'm not even capping when I say it. It might be easier for her to go to SmackDown to do it right now, but I see it in her future. I thought that she excelled in this match. She carried a lot of it. Let's be clear. Like, a lot of them are basing off of her because she was, she's the biggest person in the match. I thought the way it was set up, having Becky come out was great. The agenda has continued with Becky being afraid of Bianca. Let's be clear, and kind of helping out into that finish. Liv, it was a good run. Get your ass to the back of the line. See you later. But I gotta also commend Raw for giving us a mix of women in multiple programs doing multiple different things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as interesting as it is to see two heels like Doudrop and Becky face off at Royal Rumble, you still have your base heel versus face roles with Rhea and Nikki ASH. You still have Dana Brooke working with the men, working with women as well. You have a lot of stuff going on, at the very least, in the bottom, middle, and top of the card there. And Raw's really, they're working on a lot of cylinders here in terms of just what they're doing with the women. I think Doudrop and Becky is going to be a banger, dude. Like, this is going to be great. This is. I would have never, if you would have told me a year ago, Piper Niven, Doudrop, whatever it was going to be in this role at Royal Rumble, I would have fucking been like tripping. She skipped NXT UK. She skipped NXT altogether. She didn't even go.
She didn't get released. By all stretch of the imagination, I think if she went to NXT at some point earlier in the thing, she might have been released.
Would have been a wrap. Actually, they don't release a lot of the women. Let's be clear. They don't release a lot of the women from NXT.
I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I just have a hunch. I'm not saying that they would have done it, but it's just like, I don't know. It just being in that group itself puts you on the target. Like, not really a lot of NXT UK people got released, but I feel like I don't even know how their contracts are actually like set up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But she made it.
It was good. It was good. Yeah, it was a good match.
That 450 knocked my socks off. Oh my god! Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Carlos. It was like, she think this is 2K.
That's how Cyrus would have broke up the pin in 2K.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So listen, man. I thought it was a really solid Raw, bro.
Really good, yeah. I didn't regret it.
And going into Royal Rumble, we have now with both Royal Rumble matches, we got Brock versus Bobby. We got Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. We got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz Maurice, and we got Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. That's a card, brother.
That's a card. Just get a little bit of everything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a strong ass card going into it. So it's looking good. I think if they was to just stop here, it'd be fine. I don't know if Charlotte's in the Royal Rumble, which is smart, by the way, because she has no challengers anymore.
Shit. SmackDown roster looking dilapidated. Yo, just call him up. Come on, stop playing. Call him up.
I know. Call
WWE,
EO up.
stop.
Call Raquel up.
Call him up.
Stop playing.
Call him up. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Yeah. Stop fucking with us. But yes, that was the week in wrestling. I think next week we're going to talk more about this mixtape. I'm seeing a lot of reactions from it. Let's make that a topic we talk about next week. So thank you guys for listening, and the patrons, thank you guys for checking us out. If you don't have our Patreon, please check us out. $5, all it takes. Get extra shows, get shows early. Also, you also have the War Report coming out end of the week with Cyrus and Quan. They're gonna be talking about all manner of AEW things and NXT things coming out. Pretty big episode of NXT coming up tonight too. But yeah, we're gonna see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening. For Meelz, I'm Justin. Please stay safe, and we'll see you next week.